Welcome to the Dealmakers Podcast. The Dealmakers is a platform for leaders in the commercial real estate industry where they can share their personal stories, business insights, and industry secrets because we believe in spotlighting the real people behind the deals. I'm Asaf Raz. Let's go. Welcome to another episode of the Dealmakers Podcast. And today we have a very special guest. Well, I mean, it's always a special guest, but this one is particularly special. This is Michael Bull. Michael is an extremely experienced commercial real estate broker. He's the CEO of Bull Realty, has years and years of experience, $8 billion of closed transaction volume under his belt already so far. And he keeps on growing and making things happen. Huge following on social media and super interesting stories. Michael, thank you so much for joining me on the episode today. I'm really happy to have you with us.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Michael, please, aside of what I already said, please share a few words about yourself. What are some things we can't miss about you? I want the audience to know who you are before we dive into the conversation.
Well, good. Well, I'll keep it real short, maybe 60 seconds. As you mentioned, I've been in commercial brokerage pretty much all my life since I got out of school. And I do have a training company that trains agents, online videos, commercialagentsuccess.com, that brokers around the country subscribe to the video training. And then I host America's Commercial Real Estate Show. I've been doing it every week for, 13, 14 years.
Wow.
And then, as you mentioned, I own a brokerage firm. I'm licensed in all the Southeast states. We have about 50 people with brokers in every specialty. And then I lead a team that sells office buildings, which is an interesting sector right now.
Yes, and we're going to have this conversation about office. We have to have that conversation about office. It's been an extremely interesting topic for me, especially, and it's been on my mind a lot to understand how this kind of fluctuates and works. Before we dive into office, let's talk a bit about your journey and how you kind of came about to where you are today and how you've built your professional career when it comes to real estate. Maybe you have a juicy story or something unforgettable that we have to know that got you into this business.
Yeah, well, I was going to school at night and had to work during the day when I went to college in Atlanta. And so I got a job managing apartments, and they showed me how to do it. And I learned how to renovate apartments and lease them and manage them and buy them. And then they quit buying. I got bored after about 2 years, and they realized it. And then a company grabbed me and it had me run their management company when I was 20. Tripled the size of that apartment management company, started selling apartments as well at 19 years old. And then at 22, became a commission-only salesperson focused mainly on apartments. And then did that for many years, grew a nice practice. And then I was getting heavily recruited by the big national companies. And I looked at what some of the brokers do at those shops, and I just didn't feel comfortable with it. So I decided to start my own company about 27 years ago with two main themes. One, that anyone using the name Bull Realty would be known for integrity. That's number one. And that's really the reason we started it. And then one of our missions was to have the best disposition marketing in the country. And then, we grew that. So, we've done deals all over the country and all over the Southeast, and we have fun helping clients make money and save money.
I love that. So let's go a bit into the real estate piece of this. And obviously at the end, I also want to talk about the show that you're hosting. I think you're doing a lot of interesting stuff. Maybe we'll need a follow-up episode on this one, but let's talk about some of these emerging trends that we're seeing, especially this year towards next year when it comes to commercial real estate. What are some things that you see that are shaping this, I would say, this new generation of the real estate market, or this next generation of real estate industry?
Yeah, well, of course, the rapid increase in interest rates shocked a lot of folks and adjusted values and increased cap rates and lowered value across the board. Every property type is a little different in how much that has changed. It dropped levels of transaction levels down to about 50% around the country. And they're just slowly starting to climb back up as people are starting to realize that, interest rates aren't going to drop dramatically. And we're back to more historic normal rates. And there's a lot of sellers now, they're saying, let me go ahead and move and do business. And and sell at today's value because I'm still making money and I'm still, rocking and rolling. And then more buyers coming into the market. We're seeing more lenders kind of work through their more of the lenders are downgrading their loans,
Yeah.
so they'll move through those. We're starting to get foreclosed office buildings that we're selling in the southeast and around Atlanta. So it's kind of good to kind of get through and let all this kind of work through. And then a lot of buyers are seeing it as a real opportunistic time to get into acquisitions right now, especially owner occupants. You mentioned office. Owner occupants that use office space. It's a really remarkable time for them.
Hmm. Can you explain a little bit more about that? Why is that so special when it
Yeah.
comes to office?
Sure. Well, a lot of the bigger office buildings, the larger the office building, the larger the suites, the more central business district they are, the more the values have plummeted, right? So if you're a user of space, then you fix some of that problem or possibly all of it. So you're getting in at a much lower basis,
Mhm.
in every case, well below replacement cost. So we've sold a lot of buildings, office buildings, to owner occupants where they'll owner occupy part or all of the building. And they can get some great deals. There's some just beautiful buildings and incredible values out there because the investors have slowed down. It's harder to get investor loans for office now. You can, but it's more difficult.
Mhm.
And so there's just a lot of value. We're selling like a 73,000 square foot building right now in Atlanta for $57 a square foot.
Wow. Wow.
The buyer of that, is going to turn around in 5 years and just, it's going to be an incredible acquisition opportunity for them. And then we're seeing some other buildings. We're about to bring one out for 120 a foot that would cost, 600 a foot to replace. It's on a lake. It's in a great area. And it's just incredible time. I've helped clients that run businesses and invest in real estate all my life. And, when I've sold buildings for business owners, it's interesting. A lot of times I hear this, well, Michael, I bought that building kicking and screaming. I didn't really want to put out the equity into real estate, but I didn't realize the windfall because, when you're running a business, and you're doing it, and time flies by, right? And you pay down that loan, inflation makes the rents and value go up. And all of a sudden you've got this windfall. And sometimes you might even live off that income from the business, depending if it's small, right? And then you have this windfall. And I've had some of them say, "Wow, I didn't want to do it, but I'm sure glad I did it at the time." And then this part of the cycle, when you get into office properties at such a low basis, it's just an incredible time for business owners and leaders.
Are those considered distressed asset sales or off market sales, right?
Well, some are on market, some of them are distressed, and some of them are just normal sellers that they're having to sell at current market values, right? If office is in a decline, then it brings most office down. Now, having said that, medical office is still selling very well, high values.
Mm-hmm.
Government leased office is selling very well, but still, when you have the higher rates, you get in at lower bases. Commercial real estate's a long-term hold,
Mm-hmm.
so marry the deal, date the rate, and so a lot of folks are getting in now while the prices are lower. Like I own an office building that I started my company in 27 years ago, and at the time interest rates were high. The building needed work. A lot of investors passed on it. I bought it, put my business in there, and then and I still own it. It's just been a great investment, and so I think that's just one of the opportunities for investors. If you have a business you're involved in, you kind of look at, hey, where can I buy a building that makes sense?
It's really interesting to see this. I've been having conversations with um, various types of commercial real estate brokers, right, from different asset classes, and different types of owners, operators, and LPs. When people come with an extensive experience like yours, this 35 plus years of experience that you have, you've been through not one, not two, maybe not even three, these type of fluctuations in the real estate industry, right? It was '08, and then a little bit before '08, we had a few fluctuations there as well. And what's unique about your approach to this is it's very positive, right? It's very optimistic. Like it's a it's a great time to be here. If you open the articles, you write office, real estate, office, current situation. You'll see the worst articles. Office is done. That's it. You can't do office anymore. The deals don't make any sense. There's no occupancy. And then I talk to you,
Mhm.
and you're super optimistic about this. Can you explain to me how these past experiences, all these years of experience, have got you to this position where you're saying it's a great asset class, it's a long hold, marry the deal, date the rate, right? How did you
Yeah.
get to this situation? What are some past experiences that got you to realize that you need to stay this way?
Well, throughout my career, I've seen there's certain buyers that are have gotten very wealthy buying real estate that only buy in downturns. I call them and to sell them a property in when the market's good and the cycle's up, and they'll say, "Michael, thank you for calling me. That's cute, but I don't buy until there's blood in the streets." So, contrarian investing. If you look at people who bought houses after the Great Financial Recession, or retail when retail was considered dead. You look at apartments after the S&L failures many years ago. Those are times of building great wealth. So it's a good opportunity for any kind of investor or buyer. And even the groups that we deal with that own a lot of office, they're letting some of them go to the lender and buying others, right? So there's a lot of movement. And of course, as brokers, we make money off of movement and helping people, get good deals and helping people get out of properties. And we also work with a lot of lenders and borrowers to help through these situations. So, it's the contrarian investing. When I look at my entire career, it's like where I've seen the people build the most wealth, and it's just a great time if you have the stamina mentally and emotionally and monetarily to get in there and buy the right properties.
Mhm.
Obviously, you want to be in the right buildings, the right properties. Every piece of real estate today is so specific in its value. We just sold an office last week for $356 a square foot.
Mhm.
Then we're selling one today at 57 a foot. And then a beautiful one we're going to bring out in a couple of weeks at 120 a foot. That's just gorgeous. So
Wow.
it's just seeing people and companies build wealth doing contrarian investing has shown me that.
That's really interesting and pretty cool. And it really gives me this, you always know that when you talk to people in real estate, but it really gives this additional confidence that you know when there's blood in the streets, people buy and people get wealthy in these type of situations. And it's not just a saying; it actually what happens. I love that. That's really cool. Um, let's shift a little bit into, so you have something additional that's very unique for you, which is your social media presence. And I think that's something that um, even after all those years of experience, and I can see that you're putting a lot of emphasis and a lot of focus on building that social entity, especially on LinkedIn. I'm seeing a lot of activity there with you and with Bull, and I love your LinkedIn page generally. I'm a marketing guy, so just seeing that makes me extremely happy. Can you tell us a little bit about how that influenced your real estate career, and what are some tips that you can give people, our listeners, into taking advantage of social media in commercial real estate?
Well, I look at commercial real estate brokerage as kind of half advisory, giving advice to folks and consulting, and the other half marketing. We're marketing our services and we're marketing our assignments, our listings. So I've always been very interested in study both. So when social media first came out, it had the word media in it,
Mm.
and so I just became interested in it. And a lot of my brokers actually laughed, or all of them kind of laughed at me, Michael, why are you fooling around with that and that sort of thing. And then when I was asked to do a radio show, I was like, well, why are you doing that, Michael? Are you actually going to get on the radio and answer questions and talk live and be comfortable with that? Oh, yes, I am. And so when I started doing that show many years ago, we recorded the first one as a podcast, and most people didn't know what podcasts were at the time. So it was kind of interesting there. It was like at the time, if it was a podcast, like, what's that? That doesn't sound good. And then if you're on the radio, oh, wow, you're a radio star. And it's funny how that's reversed. So we started marketing the show, putting out really good content like you are. And I think it's just, I would say the leads and the business I've gotten from social media, I can pinpoint some business from it directly, but most of all, it's just kind of presence in the marketplace. So, if I'm talking to someone about selling an office building and they Google me or
Exactly.
go to my bios or my LinkedIn, they say, oh, okay, he does know about office buildings. And I do have the right guy to help me with my commercial brokerage investing services. So,
That's I think this is something to really put the focus on, and I'll double down on what you said. When someone wants to understand if you're a credible person to work with, they'll look you up, right? They'll look you up
mhm,
for sure. If you're a company, if you're an individual, by the way, usually they'll focus on the individual behind the phone instead of, or company owners instead of the company itself. But when they open your page and they see you and they see your radio show and they see how much content you put out and the amount of people that, put their faith in your content to learn and grow in terms of your own community, it really makes a big difference. And
mhm,
sometimes people won't tell you; won't even remember. Michael, yeah, I saw you on social media on this show, and I really liked it. They won't remember that they saw you there, but it will still be connected in their head to professionalism, to a deep understanding for you in the office space. And you've really been leveraging it well. Like if anybody's listening to this and wants to learn how to do that, literally just go to Michael's page on LinkedIn, go to his social media pages. You'll understand exactly how it should be done. So kudos to you. It's really nice. It's beautiful, Michael, to see that.
thank you. And I think I've learned more from seeing other folks post and checking out people the post I get on LinkedIn and Twitter, and so I think I've probably learned more than I've helped others. But it's fun, if you're having coffee or breakfast or just hanging out, having a cocktail. It's kind of fun to kind of look through those things, I think. And
Yeah.
now during the day when I'm busy working, I'm not a big poster. I believe in either being with a client in person or on the phone during the business day as much as possible, and then doing those sort of things off hours, if you will, or off prime time.
I love that. Usually it's funny. We put a lot of emphasis on promoting on social media um, in holidays and times off and weekends because people have a tendency to actually be more active in these times on social media. So that's really interesting. And you're saying that just backs it up. This
Mhm.
type of idea. Great. So we're again have to stand behind our promise to our audience to be at least we're somewhere between 15 to 20-minute episodes. Um, and that's where we're going to jump to this last stage of the episode, which is what I call the shameless plug, which is your opportunity to shamelessly plug in what you're doing today. What are you looking for? What who can help you run your business or do your business better? And what are you offering people in the audience that are listening to you? That's your time to shine. So, Michael, take it away and please shamelessly do that. This is what it's for.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm always looking for sellers of commercial properties of all types, especially in the Southeast U.S. And we have a great marketing program and databases of buyers. We also help invest buyers and companies with their space needs, whether it's retail, office, or industrial. So we help folks with that. I'm always looking for experienced real estate brokers who have a book of business that want to associate with a great firm like ours. So we're looking to grow our firm. We want about 20 more brokers than we have right now. And then for commercial agent success strategies, as far as what we offer out there, for any commercial agents or residential agents that want to do commercial, you get your license and you don't know anything about commercial brokerage at all. Maybe how many square feet in an acre, 43,560, and maybe how to do a cap rate. But other than that, you don't know anything. So it's important to get training if you're a commercial agent. And I learned that early on. I think that's why I made it. I trained like crazy. And when I found that there was training missing, about overcoming objections and building a book of business and building a brand, that sort of thing. And presenting your services and negotiating transactions. I saw that training wasn't out there, so I created it. And then we recorded 21 1-hour videos in front of a live audience and brokers really love it. Even most experienced brokers just can't believe how good it is because they're used to the crappy commercial agent training that's out there. Especially CE credit training is really disappointing. But if folks want to check it out, this website's commercialagentsuccess.com. And then if they want to contact us about brokerage, and we do a lot of work for banks and lenders and borrowers. So I have big expertise there and a big track record and references working for banks, selling REO and short sales. They can reach out to us at bullrealty.com. And then lastly, if they want to see our show, we do every week. The website for the show is creshow.com, or just go to your phone and look up America's Commercial Real Estate Show. There's probably enough plugs for me.
It is. And everything is going to be, all the links, everything's going to be in the bio of the episode, all the information you need to find whatever you want from Michael's business. He's really, Michael, have been doing a lot in this space to really also help people become professionals. And I really, really appreciate that. Really, thank you so much, Michael, for joining us today and sharing your valuable insights and experience with us.
Appreciate it. Go the Dealmakers.
There we go. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of the Dealmakers Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to subscribe and get our latest and greatest episodes and our latest and greatest industry leaders. If you have any suggestions for future guests or topics, or if you'd like to be a guest yourself, please reach out to Agora on our website or our social media pages. Stay tuned for more exciting episodes as we continue to explore the stories behind the people that run commercial real estate. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next episode.